Workers at Prince Poultry, a North Carolina chicken farm, toss sick, injured, and unwanted chickens into a pit filled with decaying birds, leaving them to die. Listen to what this farmhand says to an undercover animal rights activist.
These ones still alive. Should we hit them?
No, we're going to drop them in the pit just like they are. You dump them in there, and the Mother Nature takes care of the rest of them.
Oh.
You go in there in the summertime, and it smells real nice over there. And you look down in there, and it's like a gravy that's simmering and squirming.
Hey, Little Rico. Tonight, undercover investigations that expose horrifying abuse on factory farms could soon be outlawed. That means that investigations like this one, which a group called Compassion Over Killing conducted at Prince Poultry in North Carolina, would be illegal? The undercover investigator who went inside Prince Poultry found examples of horrifying cruelty. She even saw chickens being buried alive. Listen to this.
The activist who recorded the video was posing as an intern. She didn't want her identity revealed in our interview.
I saw cruel practices every day I was on the farm, from the first day to the final day. I'd say everything that you see in the footage is standard.
Standard practice to bury animals alive? Compassion Over Killing filed a complaint with law enforcement, and the North Carolina Bureau of Investigation started an inquiry into the farm's practices. Straight out to CNN correspondent Chris Frakes. Chris, you broke this cruelty story nationally. Great work. To stop these kinds of exposés, though, in the past couple of years, 3 states have passed ag-gag laws that make these kinds of undercover investigations a crime. And right now, there are efforts to pass similar ag-gag laws in North Carolina and 13 other states. So what could that mean for the future of investigations like the one conducted at Prince Poultry?
Well, I'll tell you, Jane, it essentially criminalizes these kinds of undercover exposés. And the animal rights activists that I talked to, they argue that because there's little oversight of these kinds of farms, remember, this is not something that's generally federally inspected. The hidden cameras by these animal activists are one of the most effective ways of showing the public exactly what goes on behind these closed doors. Their videos have gone mainstream. They've led to criminal charges, fines. Even the largest meat recall in American history was because one of these videos got out there into the public.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's many organizations doing these kinds of undercover exposés. Chris, you confronted Tim Prince, the owner of Prince Poultry. Let's watch what he told you about the investigation.
She took just the very minute little things that we've done wrong.
When other folks might look at this who aren't familiar with your business and they see live chickens getting dropped into a pit, they might not call that minute.
And you're probably right.
He admits the chickens should have been killed before being thrown in the pit, but says he does take care of the birds. They're his livelihood.
I try to run a clean business, and, you know, there was a few things on there I saw that shouldn't happen. Yes, sir, I'll agree.
Prince Poultry provides exclusively to chicken producer Pilgrim's Pride, the second largest chicken producer in the world, and their products show up in stores and restaurants across America. In a statement, Pilgrim's Pride told CNN, quote, "Out of an abundance of caution, we have retrained the grower in question and his employees. Pilgrim's prioritizes the welfare of our chickens, whether under our direct care or under the care of our contract growers," end quote. Chris, do you think this investigation at Prince Poultry forced anyone to make any real changes?
Well, I'll tell you, Jane, like, we talked to Pilgrims. We called them up. We said, this is your grower. This is somebody who works for you. And what they told us was essentially, out of an abundance of caution, they retrain this grower and his employees. And they talk about the fact that the treatment of these animals are very important to their core beliefs of what they believe as a company.
Well, look, here's my question. The lawmakers are trying to pass ag-gag laws to criminalize the investigations. Why aren't they trying to pass laws to criminalize the cruelty that the investigations keep uncovering at farms all across America?
Well, when I asked that question, I approached one of these lawmakers in North Carolina and wanted to ask him, why are you pushing these things? And we didn't get very far. But if you look at it from Tim Prince's perspective, he thought he was hiring a college intern, help her out with some credits, and it turns out here she's an activist from an animal rights group in Washington, D.C., and he says, she took that video out of context. He really felt like it was a gotcha, and he worried that it could ruin his business on the land that he runs, that his family's been on for generations. So activists, the activists, Shane, they'll tell you that this kind of video is really what goes on behind closed doors. That's why you need to keep these legal.
Yeah, how do you take a chicken squirming in a pit out of context? Either it happened or it didn't happen, and it's right there on camera.
In North Carolina, where this disturbing video was shot, State Senator Brent Jackson introduced a bill that would have made shooting this type of video a crime. We wanted to ask him why.
Excuse me, Senator Jackson.
Yes.
All right, sir. Chris Fritz with CNN.
Chris.
You doing all right?
Doing fine. Good to see you.
I was hoping to talk with you, sir.
No, I don't have anything to say to you then.
So he didn't want to talk to you about this. Chris, why do you think legislators in North Carolina and other states want to pass these ag laws, but that gentleman didn't want to talk to you?
Well, I can't speak for the lawmakers here. We tried to reach out to that senator. We called his office. We went to the Senate floor. He just didn't want to talk. But when you talk to animal rights activists, they tell me that, pushing for ag laws instead of using those resources to make the industry more transparent, that's exactly why these undercover videos are needed. They're saying, instead of cleaning up their act and being transparent with how they do their business, they're trying to use their resources and their clout in state capitals to shut people out of them. That's why they're so against barring undercover videos for that reason, Jane.
Well, little Rico here, you know that animals cannot speak for themselves. So if you're interested, go to Compassion Over Killing, their website, COK.net, and check it out. I have to say, I wonder if the move to criminalize these undercover investigations has backfired, because there have been a slew of editorials regarding these so-called ag laws, essentially asking, what are you trying to hide? I want to thank Chris Freight, CNN investigative correspondent, for joining us tonight for his excellent reporting on this issue. And I would urge other journalists to take a look at this very important issue, because once again, they can't talk for themselves.